Today we're going to take some old toys and make something a little more interesting out of them. Not to mention, create a few toys of our own from scratch. Let's kick this little shindig off by making an interesting work of art out of some old toys. Just dig out those old plastic figurines from the closet and grab a large bowl. We used plastic army men, a metal mixing bowl, and a heat gun. Lay the figures out in the bowl so that a part of them is touching one another, and then start heating them up for 10 to 15 seconds at a time. Now you definitely want to do this outside or in a very well ventilated area to avoid any fumes. Once you have your first layer formed, simply add more figures and melt them as well. Continue building your configuration while heating enough for them to melt into each other. As it cools, go ahead and feel around for any weak points. Once you're happy with it, let it cool down for several minutes and remove your new mold from the mixing bowl. You'll be left with an interesting table piece that's sure to stand out in your kitchen or dining room. Now here's a real simple way to make an interesting gift from your old Legos. Just rummage through your old set and find yourself a Lego man or woman and a small base to place it on. Grab a mason jar and a lid. Now hot glue the lid pieces together to form a nice waterproof seal. While you have that hot glue gun out, go ahead and attach the Lego base plate to the inside of the lid and then plop your Lego person right on top. Fill up your mason jar with water and do a couple tests to make sure it isn't going to overflow when you screw the top back in. The next part is simple. Add some glitter into the jar and stir it around a bit so it'll sink down. You can also add a small drop of dish soap and it'll help give some weight to that glitter. Now slowly screw the lid back onto the jar. You might want a towel under it just in case you have some overflow. Once it's all secure, just shake it up and enjoy your Lego snow globe. Bored on a Saturday? You can make a cool rubber band boat with just a handful of items and a little hot glue. Attach 2 large soda bottles together with glue. Adhere 1 paint mixer stick to the outside of each bottle. You want it sticking out about 4 to 5 inches from the back edge of each bottle. Now take 2 more paint sticks and glue them parallel to each other on the top of each bottle. Wrap a few large rubber bands around the 2 paint sticks that stick out the back. Now what you use here is up to you. We preferred 2 wooden spoons and we cut the handles off roughly 1/2 inch from where the neck meets the bowl of each spoon. Just glue them together facing opposite directions and create a paddle, so to speak. Secure the paddle to the middle of the rubber bands and wind it up for a little DIY boating fun. You might have seen air cannons at the toy store. They're a harmless and fun way to fire off a ball of air at any target. You'll need a large bucket, a drill, some plastic lining, and a bungee ball. We took the bucket and put a 4-inch circular hole in the center. Now, if you don't have an attachment like this for your drill, you can cut it by hand with a small saw or just use a Dremel tool. When that's done, drill a small hole about halfway up the bucket and then do so on the other side as well. Now grab your bungee ball and cut it right in half. Lay out some plastic lining, this is typically used for painting, and measure out a few layers to the size of the bucket's opening end. Punch a small hole in the center using a knife or a screwdriver and run the bungee ball right through. Push everything into the bucket and thread the elastic through each hole on the side. Once you get them through, just tie off a small knot and that'll hold it in place. This is going to be the trigger for our air cannon. Stretch the plastic up around the edges and tape it down, creating a taut surface. Now you may need an extra hand for this part if your bungee doesn't stretch out too far. Just make sure everything is snug and secure. You can even apply a little extra tape under the bungee ball to ensure that it doesn't tear through the plastic. Pull back the ball and let it rip. Once you get your aim right, you can put a candle out from across the room. I'll be honest, this took about 10 takes to get it right. Do you have an old Slinky laying around and want to make sure that the wildlife in your backyard gets well fed? Make this feeder with a couple steel clamps, a metal Slinky, and a bag of nuts. You'll need some thin wire or twist ties and a fastener as well. Either use 1 large clamp or connect 2 together to form a large circle. Just insert one end of the clamps through the Slinky. Now stretch that crazy Slinky around the ring and secure it with a twist tie or a piece of wire. Fill your feeder with a bag of peanuts through the opening at the top, and then finish securing your Slinky all together. Finally, attach a ring around the clamp at the top of your feeder to hang it outside for birds or squirrels. This is a great weekend project, and it'll add a little flair to your backyard. Not hitting the basketball court much anymore? Well, why not take that old deflated basketball and make a new use for it? You know, turn it into a respectable flower pot. Just carefully cut a large circle in the top of your deflated ball and grab yourself a decent looking plant at the store. Slide it on in and set it out for display. You can hang them as well with a few more steps, but this tabletop method blends a nice touch of class and sports together gloriously. I want to give a huge thank you to our friends at Casper for sponsoring this video. I was sent my first Casper mattress over a year ago and loved it so much that I recently decided to buy another for when I have guests over. Another really cool thing is that you simply buy them online and they're shipped right to your door for free. Oh, and they give you a 100-day trial period with painless returns. Casper believes it's important to truly experience a product that you're going to spend a third of your life on. Try this. Go to casper.com/household and check out all the awesome mattresses they have available. Oh, and when you decide to get one for yourself, put in the promo code HOUSEHOLD to knock $50 off your purchase price. Some terms and conditions apply. Again, that's casper.com/household, promo code HOUSEHOLD. Thanks for watching. Here's a couple more videos to check out, and we'll see you next time.